Hello and welcome everyone to our Pillar Strength and Movement Prep class. I am your health fitness specialist and instructor today, Quinn. We are going to be doing a fairly simple workout today, going over some basic movements and getting some good work in through our full body. We're going to start off with a little warm up, getting our hips nice and loose, and then going down into our workout. Hey Sue, how's it going? Just getting started here.
Hey, Quinn, cool.
So we're gonna head through our warm-up, which is gonna be a cat-cow with our hamstring sweeps, kneeling Cossacks, and then we're gonna go into a workout that's gonna be working through our core, getting our hips engaged, and then working into some upper body and shoulder work as well. So to get things started here, we're gonna go down into our warm-up. Excuse me. Starting with our cat-cow, getting onto our hands and knees. We're just gonna pull the spine up towards the ceiling, tucking the belly into the spine, creating a nice rounded arch there, and dropping this belly down to the floor, getting a nice stretch through the lower back, and looking up towards the ceiling, and rounding up again, getting a nice stretch through the upper back. Kind of just getting things nice and loose there through the spine, opening things up, going back and forth, making sure we're getting nice and loose all the way through the torso there. Next up, we're going to do our hamstring sweeps. So getting those legs nice and stretched out. We're going to bring one foot out in front, getting our heel down on the ground, toes pointed up towards us. We're going to reach back behind the hips and sweep down through the heel, reaching all the way through and sweeping up to the top. Bringing our hands back and down, sweeping up all the way through. Getting a nice big stretch to the back side of the leg as we come down and sweep through the ground. Nice big stretch. And getting our other foot forward, toe pointed up and reaching through the back, sweeping through the ground. Getting these nice big stretching sweeps. All the way through the ground. Couple more. And done. All right, next up, we're gonna get into our kneeling Cossack squat. So we're gonna bring one knee down to the ground. Our other foot is gonna come out to the side. So we're at a nice 90 degrees, having our hips facing forward with our shoulders forward as well. We're gonna keep that knee pointed directly out to the side and lunge the knee out over the toe, driving back up to the middle. Getting a nice stretch through the inside of the leg, working on the deep little ligaments and muscles in the hip there. Just opening things up, trying to keep those hips and shoulders square, driving back and forth. And dropping the knee down, switching sides, getting our hip opened up to the front and lunging out, driving back and forth, getting that knee out over the toe, trying to sink those hips down towards the ankle and driving back through the middle of the foot. Nice deep stretch through the inside of the hip there. Very good. All right, we're gonna start our workout portion here. So First things first, we're gonna start with our bird dogs. So getting onto our hands and knees, we're gonna suck the belly button up to spine, getting our back nice and flat. We're gonna extend one hand and one leg on opposite sides, out in front and behind us, getting a nice hold at the top, posing and slowly lowering down, shifting our weight and alternating sides, getting that opposite hand and leg extended out. Slowly lowering back down. We're going to extend another time out, getting a nice little pose up at the top, getting that stability and coming back down. Extending out, keeping that back nice and flat, lowering down and getting back out. And lowering back down. Very good. Next up, we have our glute bridges. So getting onto our back, we're going to get our hips and our glutes nice and engaged here. So we're going to lay flat onto our back, getting our heels on the floor, knees bent, feet flat. We're going to suck that belly button into the spine, get that back nice and flat on the ground, and drive our weight up through the heels, getting those hips up into the air. Creating a nice flat line from the shoulders through the hips to the knees. Driving up. Getting those hips up in the air. Nice long hold up at the top and slowly lowering down, getting a tap on the ground and driving back up. Getting a nice hold with those hips in the air. Driving those heels into the ground and slowly lowering down, getting a tap at the bottom. And popping back up, getting a nice hold. Almost there. And slowly lowering down. Very good. Next up, we have our kneel to squat. So starting on our knees here, standing up tall, we're going to get one foot up and stand up into a squatted position and come back down, alternating which foot comes up. We're going to move back and forth into this kneeling to squatting position for just about 40 seconds here. Almost there, about halfway. Going back and forth, nice and easy, really controlling that weight up and down. Nice and even pace. And stopping. Very good. Next up, we're going to work into our upper body a little bit, or at least start to. We're going to get our shoulder cars going. So these are going to be big circles with our arms. We're going to do with our hands fully extended out. So we're going to take one side, raise one hand up out in front of us with our arm fully extended. Thumb pointing up to the ceiling. We're going to bring that hand up above the head. As we come up, we're going to open up the palm, trying to keep that shoulder facing the ground the whole time. As we come back around, we're going to flip the hand back over inside, creating a nice big circle. Coming back the other direction, bringing our hand up past the hip. Once we get past the hip, the hand starts to open up. Getting past the shoulder, flipping over again, and coming down. The whole time you want to imagine you've got two headlights on your shoulders, and you're trying to blast those headlights down at the floor. So as I'm coming up, I'm not opening up my shoulder, but I'm extending the arm out, keeping that chest and shoulder pointed down while I come up And slowly rotate around, getting that shoulder nice and open. Coming back the other direction, extending past the hip, and flipping around. Very good. Now that we've got some movement there in the shoulders, we're going to go into our pike press. So from this kneeling position, we're just going to drive our hips up into the air and shift our weight back towards the heels. From here, we're going to lower the head to the ground very slowly and gently, and just press right back up. Getting our elbows pointed back towards our toes. Pressing straight through the shoulder. Getting a nice, strong press. Few more. And relax. Good. Next up, we're going to do our air squat with a reverse rotating lunge. So this is going to be a fun one. We're going to get our feet about hip width apart, squatting down. We're going to come up. As we come back down, we're going to bring one leg back, go into a reverse rotating lunge, squat, and switch sides. Reverse rotating lunge, squat, one leg, middle, reverse and rotate. So you're getting a little bit of everything here. Getting the double leg work from both side to side, and then that single leg rotational work in between each squat. Got a couple more here, a few more seconds. Making sure we're alternating each side, keeping that weight over the middle of the foot. Almost there. And done. Good. Next up, we're back down on the ground for a little bit of core work. We're going to do our leg raises. So, getting our back flat on the ground, feet extended out. We're going to bring our feet together, pull that belly button into the spine, and bring our feet straight up over the hips, slowly lowering back down. Getting a heel tap on the ground and coming back up. Finding a nice, even pace. Getting those legs low. If you're having a hard time through the lower back, go ahead and bend the knees and lighten the load just a little bit so you can work up to that heavy strength with the legs fully extended out. I know my lower abdominals are getting pretty weak. So I gotta bend the knees here. Moving back and forth. Couple more. And done. Very good. Next up, we've just got our plank. So getting our forearms down to the ground. Getting our feet extended back behind us. We're going to press our hips up into the air through the elbows. Pop up onto our toes. Keeping our hips nice and flat. Sucking that belly button to spine. Engaging the core. Keeping us nice and stable. Driving that weight up through the elbows, keeping ourselves up. Almost there. Just a few more seconds. Keep it up. Hang in there. and rest. Very good. All right, first time through. We're gonna go into our second round of the circuit here, starting back up top again with the bird dog. So getting onto our hands and knees, sucking belly button to spine. We're gonna extend hand and leg out, holding a nice tight pose at the top and slowly lowering down. Switching sides, getting one hand out, getting that nice long hold up at the top, getting that stability and balance, dropping down and switching sides, getting nice tight extension from the fingertips to the toes. And last one. And lowering back down. Very good. Next up, we have our glute bridges. So flipping over onto our back, getting our feet flat, back flat. We're gonna drive the heels through the floor, getting our hips up towards the ceiling, creating that nice flat line from the ground through the knee, that nice diagonal coming straight out of the ground, connecting shoulder to hips to knees. That one straight line. Squeezing those hips up and slowly lowering down, getting a tap at the bottom, and coming back up. Getting a nice hold, driving through the heels. Slowly lowering down, tapping, and coming back up. Nice, even pace. And done. Good. Next up, we're going into our kneel to squat. So starting with our knees down, we're going to step up, popping up into our squatting position, coming back down, alternating that foot, coming up, driving back and forth, popping up and lowering down. Switching each foot that comes up first, keeping that weight over the middle of the heel, torso nice and tall. A few more seconds. Almost there, keep it up. And done. Very good. Next up, we've got our shoulder cars. So down on our hands and knees, we're going to extend out one hand, getting a nice big circle, keeping those shoulders, those headlights pointed down, not opening up the chest, just rotating the shoulder around, getting that hand open and flipping over. Switching sides, coming up, around, and down, and coming back through the other side. One more time, each direction, coming out, around, and back down. Last one. And done. Good. Next up, we have our pike press. So from that kneeling, hands down position, We're just gonna pop our hips up into the air, straighten out those knees, and gently lower the head down to the ground and press back up. We don't have to tap the ground, that's going pretty low. Just get a slight bend through the elbow, keeping those elbows tucked in tight. We're not flaring out wide to the side, but keeping those elbows nice and tight in towards the body. Almost there, a few more seconds, keep it up. Pressing straight through the hands. And done. Very good. All right, next up, we have our air squats to reverse rotating lunge. So getting our feet about hip width apart, we're gonna squat down into our air squat, step back and rotate, back into a squat, stepping back and giving a little rotation, back and forth. Nice, even pace. Getting a nice press. The weight coming over the middle of the foot. Driving up. And coming back down. Nice and even pace. Oh, lost control of my weight. And done. Good. All right. Headed back down to the ground. We're going to finish things up with our core work. So getting flat onto our backs. We're going to extend our feet out. Feet together. Pulling our belly button into our spine and our lower back down to the ground. We're going to pick the feet up and swing up overhead. Slowly lowering down and coming back up. Pulling belly button to spine. Getting a nice even pace. Again, you can always bend the knee and get a little bit off there. A little bit smaller of a movement, but you still get some good work. As you get better, you can just extend those feet out further and further till you start doing your knee tuck and then your leg raise. Almost there. And finish. Good. Next up, we're gonna do our plank. Last one of today until we head into our stretch. So let's make these last few seconds count. Getting our forearms down to the ground. We're gonna extend our feet back behind, driving the hips up into the air, getting them nice and level with the shoulders, sucking belly button to spine, and driving our upper body away through the elbows all the way to the toes. Creating a nice, connected, stationary little stability movement here. Few more seconds, almost there. Keep yourselves up. Finish out strong. Nice deep breaths. Almost there. And done. Very good. We're going to head into our stretching portion of the workout now. So go ahead, take a deep breath. Relax, kick back. Appreciate the accomplishment of a good workout and getting the heart rate up, getting a little bit of a sweat going. From here, we're going to cross one knee over the other. So bringing one leg up into a figure 4 shape. So I've got my ankle on top of my knee here, and my knee is bent out to the side. Might be hard to see, I'm wearing all black, but it's gonna look like this. I've got one leg on top of the other. And from here, I'm just gonna bend one knee up and use my hands to support my upper body and chest. Gently scooching my hips closer and closer to the heel and trying to bring my chest closer to the shin. Stretching in through the backside of the hips there into our glutes and our piriformis muscle, which you guys don't need to remember, but it's a good stretch to have in your back pocket. You can do it while you're sitting at your desk. You just sit in your chair, bring one leg up on top of the knee and lower your chest down towards the shin. Taking deep breaths, all the same, getting nice and relaxed. And let's go ahead and extend our leg back out and switch sides, bringing our other leg and ankle on top of the knee, bending our knee up and scooching hip to heel and chest to shin. Getting that nice stretch through the outside. Often tight area of the hip as we sit a lot. These muscles want to shorten up. A few more seconds. And extending the leg back out and relaxing. From here, we're going to get a little bit of a quad and hip flexor stretch with one of my favorites. You guys, I'm sure you know it. It is our hurdler stretch. So folding our leg back, getting that ankle by the hip, and gently, slowly lowering ourselves down. Either popped up onto our elbows, hands, or laying completely flat down onto the ground. Getting a nice stretch through the front of the hip flexor and the quads on top of the thigh. And rolling out to the side, extending the leg out and switching sides, getting our other leg folded back and dropping down. Getting a nice deep stretch through the quad. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, trying to relax that muscle there. And rolling out to the side, extending those legs back out and sitting back up, finishing the session almost right on the dot. All right, I hope you guys had a great time through the class and enjoyed your afternoon or your day if you're watching this in a pre-recorded way. If not, leave me a message and I'll work my best to improve on it for next time. But hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and keep up the good work.
Thank you.